let's get to the man himself. The man, the myth, the legend. There's nothing that's a myth about him. He is the legend, hanging out. And we're not going to give his address like those journalists were trying to give out Elon Musk and his family and how they were traveling and all that kind of thing. Zim, how are you doing, and what in the world is going on? Can you give us a status update? Do you have any update?
Well, I am still alive. I'm still screaming WhoDey every single day of my life. If you all, you do know I have been suspended from Twitter. But I don't think Elon's against me. I just feel like a couple people that were upset that I just did my thing, and they got together and like collectively like reported my account, because I've never been suspended before. I never had no offense or nothing like that. And I created my Twitter account probably like 10 years ago. I just started going on it like 2.5 years ago. People think like I've been there. Like I just started really going on there the last 2 years, 2.5 at the beginning, but I never been suspended before. That's what's so weird about it to me. It wasn't like a violent attack. I wasn't saying, it wasn't a slur. It wasn't none of that stuff. And then I just wake up, my account is suspended. I feel like a bunch of them Browns dudes just mass reported it and treated it like a thing, like, I don't know, like something bigger than what it was. And because of all the Twitter people that worked at Elon letting all them people, I think the review process is a lot different, because I was listening to some of that. There is a 3-day period. They gave me an update, and they were like, well, yeah, like your account is suspended, like you're not getting it back. That's what the email from Twitter says. But I've been told, I had a guy that we like, he's a statistician. He had his account suspended too, and he said he just kept on appealing, and it gave him the same messages. I've been trying to talk to some people higher up though in the last couple of days to see, can I get somebody from Twitter to just review it? Because I'm really confident they just go look at it, they'll be like, oh yeah, it's like nothing crazy. It's just
so. I mean, at the
cursing
end of the day,
in a tweet.
At the end of the day, if I hear you telling it right, this is really no different than some of the back and forth that you have with fans, whether it's the Steelers or whether it's fill in the blank, doesn't make any difference, Ravens, that kind of thing. It's just that this time a group of people decide basically en masse that they're going to file whatever it is they file or log a complaint or whatever it might be. I mean, there's nothing different than most of the time that you're going at it and having some fun and jabbing some of the fans of other teams, right?
No different, bro. It's the same exact thing. I noticed though, like after that game, I was like, man, the energy was kind of weird. I would be posting like Bengals stuff, and then it Browns people like underneath a tweet and be like, Cam Taylor-Britt isn't as good as your. I'm not even saying anything. I didn't even have a tweet about the Browns. Even after the game, I went to their Twitter space because I feel like everybody was going to look at me like I was going to be like, oh my God, look at us. Like, I'm not that guy. After the game, I went to the Twitter space. I was like, hey, just want to congratulate you guys on, getting out of the game healthy, shake your hand. I think y'all going to be a thing next year. They didn't even, I felt like they were acting weird towards that. Then I went back to the Bengals thing and just went to go celebrate with our guys. Nobody was talking crazy about them, and I just think that it really hurt them that they knew that the bank, like that was the totality of their season, right. And they understood, like, our season is really over, and the Bengals ended that, and there's nothing I could say to make them feel any better about it.
Well, I've been told in private circles that Elon Musk is a regular viewer of this program because he knows there's no disinformation, there's no misinformation. We just lay all the cards out on the table, equal opportunity employer here, and let you make the decision. All right. If there's anything, Zim, if there's anything at all that any of us here on Off the Bench can do, we have your back. You're our guy. You're one of our guys. You're on the team. So we good?
Appreciate it, man. I was doing a show yesterday, Cincinnati Pod, and I think it was Tracy or someone from Chatterbox came in and gave a great donation to our show. We had just interviewed my guy Joe Mixon. So yesterday was a really, really good day, I think, for content creators like myself and Chatterbox. I know y'all always got my back, so I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, if anybody's watching this, somebody that works at Twitter, I promise you, I'll show you the tweet and everything like that. Nothing egregious, regular tweeting, action. But I really do appreciate your support.
Hey, buddy, we love you. All right, now let's shift gears here to this one in Tampa Bay. We had a guy on yesterday who covers the Buccaneers every single day, has for years and years and years, and he was talking about the whole state of the Buccaneers, whether it was Brady coming back after he had retired, all the issues along the offensive line. Now all of a sudden, lots of issues as far as injuries are concerned on the defensive side. What are you looking for here this week from the Bengals? We don't know if Boyd's going to play. He says he's going to play, but we don't know. We don't know what the state is of T. Higgins. Hendrickson looks like he's not going to play. Hurst is not going to play. What are your thoughts of going down to Tampa facing a desperate Tom Brady and the Buccaneers?
I really feel like this is a game where the defense, once again, I don't know if we got into this, but I think I was, talking about how well the defense I thought played last week.
Yep.
This is another game where the defense has to be able to carry in those moments because Tyler Boyd thinks that he'll play. My gut tells me that Zach Taylor doesn't let him play. I'm even skeptical about T. Higgins because I think the coaching staff understands how important it is for our guys to be ready for the playoffs or at the very least be ready for the Bills. And I think that game right there is really, really important to them. And the defense is going to have to step up in a major way. I thought the bigger injury to Trey Hendrickson is a little bit bigger in my opinion because Joseph Ossai has never, had a starting edge role. I think we're going to find out, what this guy's made of. And what if he were to have a big game? I just think that our outlook on the team is going to be really sky high if you can get like a sack or two from Joseph Ossai coming up this week. But I think everything starts up front. Vita Vea on the opposite side for the Buccaneers, I don't believe is going to play. And that is major for what they want to be able to do as far as them stopping the run. I do think it's a Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine game. I think Mixon goes for another 100 yards a game. I also think Joe Burrow is going to probably scramble and get like 40, 50 yards as well, too. I don't know if that's a hot take. Aside from that, it's just the name of the game is to make Tom Brady feel uncomfortable. The only time he scored 30 points this year was against the Chiefs in like a shootout. Even if they got into a shootout type atmosphere, which I highly doubt, I still like my chances with number 9, and that's what it is. I think the magic number for the Bengals is like 27 points. They scored 27 points. I just don't see the Bucs scoring that. And I'm not just basing this off of last week, them only scoring 7 against the probably the best defense in football with the 49ers. But the offense has been out of sync the whole entire season. They've had many, many injuries in the secondary. They're getting a couple guys back. But at the same time, they got guys like Murphy Button and different guys in their secondary that have been practicing limited all week. It's still Jamar Chase. I think that Todd Bowles is going to be able to come up with a better plan than what Joe Woods did. But I feel really confident that, Trent Taylor and T.I. come up and do good in their one-on-one roles. And I don't think the Bengals offense is going to ask them to do but so much. And if you show them a cover 2, Joe Burrow is going to show you, hey, I'm going to take the check down in true Tom Brady-like fashion.
Are you pretty excited at all, Zim, about the first matchup between Burrow and Brady? Obviously, they don't play against each other. It's not a one-on-one game. We know that. It goes without saying. But it makes for a nice storyline. Are you excited about it?
I'm pretty excited about it. The one thing I do think is like some of the greats like yourself, some of the people that have accomplished like a lot of different things in life. I hate when people, this is like a pet peeve of mine. It's like our society is so knee-jerk reaction to everything. Everybody always wants to be able to compare like this is the next guy. And I think in a weird way, it kind of diminishes what Tom Brady has accomplished. I don't think like Joe comes to the podium, he says, I'm Joe and Tom is Tom. I do know that Joe Burrow says that, but in the back of his mind, he's like, I want to kill Tom Brady. Like, I do know Joe Burrow, he's built like that, and it is what it is. But I think the comparisons when you're talking about attributes is good. The killer mindset at the end of games, but I do dislike the comparisons to Joe Burrow and Tom Brady because I think that it just takes away. It's such in a now, like you're looking at Tom Brady right now, but you're taking away all those championship rings on his finger, all the different things that he's done. So I think Tom Brady, no matter what happens in this game, is Tom Brady, and Joe Burrow is still trying to create something and get to his first championship. But I do see the similarities. I am glad that everybody's interested in it. There's a couple graphics going around where most of the United States is going to be forced to watch the game. So I thought that was really dope. But I think it is a bit of the changing of the guards, because who knows if Tom Brady ever plays again. Burrow said he's not interested in a jersey swap, and I thought that was so Joe Burrow, no jersey swaps, whatever. Maybe they do it anyway, but that competitive fire, that competitive edge, I'm telling you, he's a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, that stuff has always made me crazy about players in front of everybody. And this was a big deal in baseball, the fraternization of guys before the game and around batting practice. And there was a point in time where, you did not speak to guys on the other team, right? You were getting ready to play them at night. And now all of a sudden with baseball, I mean, it's like Haight-Ashbury before every game. It's a big love fest and guys hugging and kissing and all this sort of nonsense before they play against each other. And now you're seeing it virtually after every NFL game. I mean, if Burrow, and look, would Burrow like to swap jerseys with Tom Brady? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know anybody in their right mind who's a football fan that wouldn't want to swap jerseys with Tom Brady, or plays football that wouldn't want to swap jerseys with Tom Brady. You just don't have to do it in front of everybody.
Right. I think there's a right and a way I would do it, but I can't force somebody to do it the way I think that they should sign their own jerseys and mail it to their house. That's the way I look at it. But you're right. As much as I love LeBron James, the difference between this generation of basketball players is, when I was a kid, Michael Jordan wasn't fraternizing and being cool or chilling. He wasn't doing none of that stuff like before or after the game.
No.
And when he lost, he shook your hand, but he got out of there quick. It wasn't no smiling. It wasn't no secret handshakes of what we used to do at AAU basketball. I feel like as great as LeBron is, he's like one of the main he's the main offender in that, where he's made it like this friendly environment, like before, after the game. Even him and Draymond Green, they should hate each other, but for whatever reason, they get on pods and stuff, and they're like real buddy. And I just think to myself sometimes, like, rest in peace to Kobe. Like, Kobe would never do that. Like, none of that stuff. Like, and you tied it in with baseball too. It's like the same thing,
Yeah. I mean, Pete Rose wasn't out there.
I'm not that guy.
Hank Aaron wasn't out there. Willie Mays wasn't out there before games. And there are a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, Brennaman, you sound like an old man." I am an old man, but I just think there's a place to do it. There's a place to do it. There's a place for it. It just doesn't have to be in front of the whole world to see.
Right.
All right. I got to tell you, Zim, you seem a little neutered today.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little worried about you. When things like this happen, and Lord knows, I mean, I've been through different stuff at different levels. We all have. Everybody out there watching. We all go through what we go through, and you try to keep putting that foot forward, but you seem a little neuter today. So I'm a little worried about you. So I am going to do it out in the open. We are going to fraternize and extend, hope and joy and peace, especially this time of year. Are you really okay?
Yeah. I'm really good. I'm fine. I will say, everything does happen for a reason. But I think the way you're feeling like that, honestly, it is earlier than what I normally probably come on. I haven't had coffee, so I'm not as wired up. Okay. 2, I don't feel like this Bucs game is like I just don't feel like they're as good as the Bengals on any level. Like, maybe a healthy Bucs team with Ryan Jensen, who hasn't played the whole entire season. Like, sure. I just think there's some things that I worry about with it, but it's hard for me to get really riled up. Like, you remember in the Browns game last week, I wasn't really riled up because I just don't feel like they're on a level. Like, catch me when we play the Bills or something like that. I feel like
I'm going to catch you when they play the Bills.
Like, I'm a competitor, man. Like, if you're not like on the same level, whatever, it's hard for me to get riled up. And I think that's what made the Browns feel like a little slighted. I was telling them the truth. I was like, you guys really aren't a good team. Like, you guys have only won 5 games. Stop telling us that you could win out and go to the playoffs. Like, your season is virtually over, and nobody likes your quarterback. I'm not here to mentor these guys. I'm here to tell them the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. If the Bengals suck, people gotta hit me sometimes. When the Bengals suck, they be like, Zim, I think you should tone it down a little bit. They're not really that good. I'm like, all right, let me take a deeper dive in it. So it's not that the Twitter thing too. It is. I will tell you the bright side of this. I have gotten a lot more work done. I'm working on a real big project. I was telling my guy last night, I'm working on a really big project, and it's like 100 pages. And from a construction standpoint, there are details. There's this one page I've been on for like the last 2 hours, just making sure I got all of my costs and all these. Like, there's attention to detail that if I was in Twitter or on those spaces, I think I might have looked past some of that stuff. So I do think that I am kind of like in work mode, kind of focused, and it's a really nice day outside. So this is one of them days where I'm gonna sit outside, get away from stuff. But it has been refreshing not to wake up. You gotta think. I go on trips. I go all around the world, and I was on that Twitter no matter what, because I didn't feel like it was my Twitter. I always felt like it was like the Bengals Twitter. Like if the Bengals had like a cool dude like tweeting all this stuff or whatever, I always felt like I was like the Bengals Twitter. So it was like, so like I woke up every day. I don't care if I was on a trip, and my wife was cool with it. She was like, that's what you really love. So no matter where I was in the country, like every single day I made it. And I still, on my Instagram, it's the same way. I don't go a day without posting stuff about the Bengals. I feel like it's part of my job. And when I get real old, I won't do it no more. But I'm hoping like somebody younger than me, like, like your son, or like little Brenny, like little Luke, somebody like that takes over the reins and kind of comes with that same energy. Is like what I'm hoping that it, and I think it's working, because them Instagram accounts and stuff, like, man, them kids be on it, man. I'm telling
you, man, you are the man. I mean, you are the man. And when we miss you on Twitter, but you know what? I like that you're getting some of your life back. Because I wish you'd share some of that with a lot of our kids out there. Get off the phone and start doing some other things, and you'll find out you don't miss a phone. So.
These kids don't really want to be on the phone and playing video games as much. If you give all of these kids like an option to go do something else, like, hey, let's go outside and play flag football real quick. Let's go play but I feel like it's up to we get so complacent and like, all right, they're on their phone, I'm going to just let them do their thing. Anytime that you give kids like an opportunity to be active with something else, I promise you, if somebody's listening, you got kids, they love it. They just, they're not at the age yet to make those type of decisions. So what's easy? I'm laying down, I'm playing the game, whatever. I don't have to really think about the process. It's same thing, like if you got a birthday coming up or something, you got to have somebody plan the event so that everybody comes out. If not, the birthday person is just going to sit back and be like, all right, I'll take this cake and I'm chilling. So it's like sometimes you need like a engine to kind of make the kids go out and do stuff. That's why I said I used to send the kids like videos and stuff when I wanted Jamar Chase to go to the Bengals. I would send them hype videos and I'd be like, hey, go post this on your Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the more people we get to do that. And then they started being like, all right, well, I'm going to go edit some videos and stuff like that. And telling you, give kids something to do, they will take advantage of it. Nobody really wants to be locked inside all day.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Well, Zim, we love having you here. We got your back, as I said earlier. Have a great weekend. Get the Bengals a win, number 10 on the year, and we move on next week to New England.
All right. Keep the countdown coming. The pound free Zim, the day 4 or whatever. Keep it coming. I love it. I love it. I think it's dope.
Zim. Yes. Leader of men. Bengals
Let's
fans.
Keep that
Zim,
countdown going.
have a great day, my man. God bless you.
Peace.
Hey, look,
talk to you.
I might have to get on the hotline, the off the bench hotline, and reach out to Mr. Musk. I'm gonna have to do that, and just say, hey, look, I know you got a billion other things to worry about, including running some of those clowns out of there who used to work there. And look, you got a lot on your mind. But Elon, can I call you Elon? Let's free our man Zim. Zim WhoDey.